What is up, everybody? I am your host and longest reigning and current WWE pay-per-view champion, the one you all came to see, the hot commodity, Ant C. Retaining this title at Backlash is going to be simple, but we got a familiar face and a new face. We'll start with the familiar one. Hi, sir. Introduce yourself.
What up? What up? I'm your co-host, Christian. I'm not gonna lie, I'm fucking hyped for Backlash. I'm
Okay.
so excited for Backlash, but yeah, I'm excited to be here with you guys and excited to be here with our new friend.
Yes, it is a good time to have our new friend here. It is a draft episode, so why not do our first night of the draft with a new draftee to the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast? Introduce yourself, sir, my friend.
Everyone, my name is Anthony also. I'm from New Jersey, hence repping the GCW shirt. I'm a big indie guy, but I also watch everything else from WWE. I watch Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW. I'm pretty much watching everything now. So glad to join you guys.
He's gonna be killing it. And guess what? He's like my age, so Christian, you're outnumbered, bitch.
Yeah.
I'm joking. All right, so we are covering again. We're the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. Thank you for checking us out. We are covering WWE Friday Night SmackDown from April 28th, 2023, live in Corpus Christi, Texas. Never been down to Corpus Christi, Texas, although I would like to. You know, kind of sounds interesting, Corpus Christi. Anyways, tough crowd. So we start out the night with the game Triple H, the COO, coming down to start out draft night. And we basically find out that the Bloodline, Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, and Solo Sikoa are the first draftees to SmackDown. I want to get your guys' thoughts on that quick. So what do you think about, I'll throw it to Ant first. What do you think about at this point? Now Raw's already happened, so stick with SmackDown. What were your thoughts on seeing the Bloodline without the Usos, and do you think it's a good choice to have them on SmackDown?
Yeah, I think it was the obvious choice. I think Reigns number one was pretty obvious. And I think SmackDown, it's on Fox, it's on, the cable network. I think keeping your main champion on that network is a big deal. That's like your biggest marketed, channel. I wasn't surprised. I was a little surprised not having the full bloodline go together, which I thought kind of put a little bit of tension there, kind of set up a little bit of a storyline. Um, Sikoa is one of those guys. I see big things for him in the future. The guy is, just looks like something that could really be big later on. I'm a huge Paul Heyman guy. I think he's one of the greatest managers of all time, if not the greatest. No respect to Bobby the Brain Heenan. I think he might be the greatest still, but Heyman's getting up there. But I think it was a very obvious pick. And I think keeping him on SmackDown makes the most sense.
Yeah, Paul Heyman has a great mind too, so it's a definitely okay. Cool. Yeah, I think I'm excited to see Roman on SmackDown. Definitely, it's kind of like his show. All right, Christian, good thoughts, sir. Christian, how about you, sir? What do you think about all that?
Yeah, man, I kind of agree with Ant said. It's very obvious. Roman Reigns is going number one. You have to keep him on SmackDown. My only thing about it is I kind of wanted to see Solo go solo in the draft. I wanted to just see Paul Heyman and Roman. Um, people expect a lot of big things from Solo after this whole bloodline thing, as do I. I definitely think he's world championship material. I would have called me crazy. It would have been cool to see him. I don't, maybe not him get drafted to a different brand as the bloodline, because obviously we still have a story to finish, which is maybe why the bloodline hasn't split completely just yet. But it would have been cool maybe to see him go for that world title run. But he really is what his name sounds like, a solo competitor. And I'm not saying his work with the bloodline hasn't been bad. It's been very, very well. He does well for his character. I'm just saying he has this reputation of the enforcer, the badass, him being Roman Reigns' little bitch is kind of not making him seem what his potential is, but we do have a lot of big things. They're teasing it a lot. Later on they tease it. So this is just one of those things where we're just gonna have to keep on watching to see what happens. But again, that's my only complaint about it. But other than that, it's like Ant said again, it's smart to keep your main champion on Fox, and story's still not finished between this family. So we're just gonna have to keep on watching to see what happens.
Respect. See, if I was running things, here would be my storyline. So like the blood Solo's the one to fuck it all up because in real life, Solo didn't talk for Roman for like 20 years or whatever the fuck it was. So like bring that into the show. Not for nothing, you want me to listen to you, but yet fucking you and like this whole entire time, I'm the one. You thought it was the Uso, you thought it was Sammy, you thought it was Kevin, I was gonna end it. I'm the one that did it, and you didn't know. I mean, I would do that because I kind of think that at this point, they've dragged this story out for so long that whoever ends it, at that point, it's going to be kind of like, okay, it's over. I think because, if it goes to WrestleMania 40, it's going to be like, all right. But that's just my opinion. So our second pick for the draft going to Monday Night Raw is Cody Rhodes. I mean, kind of could tell based on the way things are going in WWE right now, those two guys are going to be on separate brands. But my question for you guys is, a lot of people are now going to say, well, that means Cody is going to be the new World Heavyweight Champion. Do you guys think that that's what they're going to do, or are they going to surprise us? Other than Christian, do you think they're going to surprise us with that?
I think that title is all Seth freaking Rollins.
Okay.
There's still not unfinished business with Cody and Reigns. But they have to be on opposite brands. They are on opposite brands. That might be a little tricky. There's always Survivor Series. Maybe they tweak something up with that in the future. SummerSlam's not too far away. Maybe they, continue that, but it's going to be hard for them to do that. I mean, I can see Cody. It would make sense. It's really like Roman being Fox's champion. Cody's. I'm not saying just because of the network, but really Raw's champion. Because that's really what the brand is based off of. With the exception of guys like Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre is now there. So Judgment Day's killing it, but I just think, yeah, I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, listen, we were talking about Cody Rhodes, and
no, I know. I just
he might.
Can't just give it. How are they gonna? They can't just give him that belt. They can't just do a tournament where you can't just do a tournament with Cody Rhodes. His whole story is coming to WWE to, do unfinished business, blah 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 blah, and he has unfinished business with Roman. So it just doesn't make sense. If they do that, I wouldn't watch Raw. Maybe. I don't know.
And what do you think? I agree, Christian. It's going to be interesting if Cody gets a belt. It'll be a little too easy.
I think it's going to be Seth Rollins, though.
Yeah, like you said, as obvious as Reigns was, the second pick was obviously going to be Rhodes. You're going to separate those two. I think WWE has gone away with the obvious pick being what it is. I think everyone expected Cody to win at WrestleMania for the most part. Then he doesn't win. When they created this new title, everyone's okay. They're obviously going to give it to Rhodes because he didn't win the title. I don't think they're going to give it to Rhodes because everyone's expecting that almost. It's like it's a too obvious pick. I do agree with Christian. I think it's either going to be Rollins or Balor or somebody like that. And yeah, I don't think that Rhodes is done with Reigns yet. I think we still have a lot of time to kind of finish it up, especially because I don't see them taking the title off of Reigns anywhere near soon. So you might have like a year to still kind of let Cody do his thing with whoever he has to do it with. He's got Lesnar now. Who knows who he goes to next? But yeah, I don't think it goes to Rhodes yet. I think this title goes to somebody like a Rollins or a Balor. Balor only had one title run that lasted like 0.30 seconds. And then he separates his shoulder. Actually, thanks to Rollins. That buckle bomb that into the side there. But no, I don't see it going to Rhodes yet. I think that would almost be like a cheap way to give him a world title. I think the only way that he really, quote unquote, finishes his story is by beating Reigns. All
right. Listen, I respect that too. I mean, I think that makes it like super easy and kind of corny. And it's just, I don't know. I'm a big Cody Rhodes fan. His promos have been really good. I've been really into them. He's a great talker like his dad. His match at Mania was really good. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like I think if they give him the title, then that just means he can't beat Roman, and they have to just give him the title just for because you can't beat Roman. It's like you have to finish your story with Roman and then go for that title. All right. Next, these two ladies were drafted. SmackDown gets the Raw Women's Champion, BST Bianca Belair, and Raw gets the man Becky Lynch. I'm over this whole, the other person with a title gets drafted to the other brand. They did that with Charlotte and Becky.
Yep.
It's not shock value anymore. I mean, if you're sitting here come on, like nobody cares. You make the titles have no significance when you just hand it over. But what do you guys think about Bianca being on SmackDown, Becky being on Raw? Throw it to you, Ian.
Yeah, I hate when they do this. I hate when the women just switch titles. If you want to change the mid-card titles to the other brand, I understand that. But we saw the debacle of when Charlotte and Becky tried to switch titles and whatever the hell that was, whether it was Charlotte's ego or whether it was Becky or whatever that was the last time they tried to do that. Just like drafting Bianca and then like you just wasted a pick because you're gonna draft Rhea on Monday. Obviously she's gonna go to SmackDown, go to Raw later on. So like now we're just gonna like trade the titles later on, or are we gonna do a 2-for-1 and unify the women's title? Yeah, you're right. There's no shock factor anymore. Like just either keep the women on the brand or just like I don't know what they're gonna do there, but yeah, I remember it's like when the New Day was champions for tag team titles, and they literally traded it with I think the Street Profits, and it's like, well, you can't just do that. Like we're gonna do the record books. You're gonna say traded. I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it didn't. I like Becky on Raw. I've always liked Becky more on Raw.
Yep.
Especially, I mean, we'll talk about it later with somebody else that got drafted to Raw. But Bianca, I could see on SmackDown. But Raw has been her show, and she talks about it. So like, why take her off her show? I don't know if this is more of like a thing. I always read about networks wanting certain people and stuff like that. So maybe that kind of came into it. But I'm not a fan of the whole swapping titles thing. I never have been, and it really started off with to me when it was the Street Profits, and the New Day, just kind of like literally trading titles in the back. It wasn't even like a big deal. They just like in the back, they're like, oh, let's just trade titles, and I'm like, okay, that was a great storyline there.
And they're kind of like, no offense, but like they're both like babyface teams.
Yeah.
It's like the way they're both kind of similar in terms of like their style, like the way they come out, the crowd loves them. It's like, and I also think I'm over Bianca Belair. I love her to death. I think she's a great wrestler. She's turning heel. I'm over her being babyface. I'm gonna take over the world. You did it. Like now, let's do something different. Now, different character. Thank you for your words, my friend. I'm a big Becky Lynch fan too. Like Becky Lynch, come on, yeah. Go ahead, Christian. How about you?
Well, I held hands with Becky Lynch, and I have the video. So
I'm jealous.
Okay, so like Ant said, Raw. It makes sense. I've always liked Becky on Raw more than SmackDown. I'm gonna involve Rhea Ripley a little bit in this because I'm just curious on why she challenged for the Raw, or I'm sorry, the SmackDown Women's title if she got drafted the Raw too. And the reason I say that is because she's champion. Bianca's on SmackDown. She's Raw Women's champion. It's both been kind of their shows, so that's kind of weird on Bianca's side of it. And we know the couples most likely stay together. So when you see Becky drafted on Raw, we know probably Street Profits and Rollins, whatever. But I hope the SmackDown. And me and Anna's talked about this a lot, and I've stressed this a lot. The SmackDown Women's division has always been shit. Ever since Sasha and Naomi had that thing, it's been bad. I mean, Ronda's been a horrible champion. Awesome. Charlotte comes and goes. I mean, they have, and now they're switching. They're gonna probably switch titles. So SmackDown hasn't had really a good champion in maybe the past couple years. And even I don't even think Liv Morgan, her title run was so they've been literally passing that title like
I forgot she was even champion,
Exactly.
Oh my God.
So she did the same thing that Bianca did. Like, I'm gonna take over the world, and she did it, but for a very short period of time.
Exactly.
And Liv's a good wrestler.
No, 100%. And I don't know. Now she's not even there anymore. But I'm just hoping with Bianca on SmackDown, because I don't want to talk too much about Becky and Raw, because Raw women's division has always been more
Always.
dominant than SmackDown. So with Bianca, they finally have a star. They finally have a big baby face on SmackDown on the women's side. So with Bianca going to SmackDown, I'm a SmackDown guy. I've always been. So I'm just hoping the SmackDown women's division gets a little bit better and we see some more different matches. We've seen the same people on the same brand, so I can see this a little shake up a little bit. So we're just gonna have to see and watch. It's one of those things, like I've said before, but
Dude,
it's gonna be good.
I just think though, like let Asuka win the title then. Like
Oh my god, I was so disappointed
like
when
what's
she
the
lost.
point? Like not even like I like who like it's like if you're gonna make her just okay, we're gonna transfer you to the next, like just have her lose it and then okay, she's drafted. Like like you're gonna make her just replay. It's just I don't know. All right, we'll cover this really quick. After all those people get drafted, Triple H welcomes the Usos. They basically say they are the ones, and Kevin and Sammy are the twos. They're basic crap. Kevin and Sammy come out and they're like, "Why would you dedicate this victory to Roman? You haven't even won yet. He hasn't talked to you guys in weeks." And Kevin's like, "I don't care about the Usos. We will retain." Same stuff between these two. Like not much to talk about here, but I guess it's good. They're gonna have their main event match, which I was excited for to see. We'll cover the first match. We see LA Knight defeating Butch with Sheamus. I hate that his name is still Butch.
It doesn't make any
It
sense.
pisses me off.
Doesn't
And
make
his
any
gimmick too, like he's a fucking bulldog. He's always like, "Arr," like it's like, come on, just
He's essentially a leash
I'm sorry, that
dog.
was funny.
He's a
like
leash
he's a
dog.
bulldog.
Yeah.
He runs, he bites the fucking row. Like they have to like it's like you let him just be the fucking. I'm gonna break your fucking fingers. You be afraid.
You know that's the worst part is they put a video up of when Gunther debuted at NXT UK Takeover, and that's when Pete Dunne was like Pete Dunne,
Mhm.
and I'm like, where's that guy? Like,
He was
where's
so
the guy?
badass.
Where is him?
Butch.
And Triple H loved him. Like, where is he?
That's what I'm saying, man. Well, LA Knight gets the win here after hitting. I forgot his finisher is the BTE, right? What's his finisher? What's the name of it? I forgot the name of it. It's
I
like
forgot the name
BTF,
of it.
whatever the fuck it is. He nails his finisher. I'm a big LA Knight fan. He's been, a lot of people have been, blowing him up. Not really. But what do you guys think of LA Knight? Do you think he's should be getting all this praise? And I'll throw it to Ian.
Yeah, Knight has star potential. He has been booked probably the most inconsistent out of the majority of stars on WWE. When you get a guy like Stone Cold Steve Austin saying you have star potential, that is a huge, a huge thing in your corner. I don't think that you can't lose to Xavier Woods a week ago and then beat Butch this week, and all of a sudden everyone start jumping in your corner. There's got to be some kind of, you know, I'm trying to think of the word, but
Like
a
purpose.
streak, like a streak too. There's got to be some kind of streak behind you. You can't have a win loss, win loss, win loss. He has potential. He didn't gain anything from the Bray Wyatt feud at all. Except for we got to see him do good promos, but other than that, he has. And anyone that's followed Knight's career before WWE knew he was a phenomenal star. But I think he's one of those guys, and we've heard the rumors about Money in the Bank, stuff like that. He's one of those guys that definitely can talk, probably up there with some of the best guys in wrestling right now. He's a great talker. So I think he has the tools to be like one of the best guys we could possibly see right now. But he's got to win matches consistently and, like you said, with purpose, not just randomly with. I don't even know why he fought with Butch, because he had like a conversation in the back with him, like Butch doesn't even talk, so I don't know why he really fought with him. So
I think LA Knight. It's like my problem with WWE, and this is something that actually didn't do. Everybody had a place. LA Knight is just floating around fighting random people. Like, give him a storyline. Give him, like you said, a streak. Give him a purpose. Give him a win. It just can't be because that was my problem with WWE. What they do is like NXT, they dominate. They come over and they make like the fans didn't know anything about NXT, and that these guys come up and they're nobodies, right? Same thing when they come from other companies. It's like if you didn't know he was Eli Drake or whatever, even prior to that, you're only going to know him as I'm LA Knight, and doing this. So it's like it's a disservice to them if you don't really know. But I do like his gimmick. I do think he is, killer in the ring. What about you, Christian? What are your thoughts?
I just want to know how somebody goes from having a moment with the Undertaker. I know it was kind of Bray Wyatt's moment, but it was LA Knight. It was involved. I just don't know how you could go from being from when I saw that, I thought he was gonna get a big push. I thought the whole Bray Wyatt thing was gonna be him getting a push. I knew it was just about Bray coming back, but again, I don't know how you could have WrestleMania goes Hollywood without LA Knight. Yeah. No, seriously, why? I don't know how he didn't have a moment, nothing. He Ant touch said a good point. He has so much potential. I don't think he's there yet because, like you said, he's been booked terrible. I want to see him have matches with better people, not going back and Rey Mysterio and getting involved in these randoms that don't go anywhere. He does it every week with random people going into Xavier Woods' office or room playing Xbox, whatever. And like if you've watched some of his Impact stuff, he's the shit. Yeah. So I want to see him maybe get maybe challenge Gunther something, or no Austin Theory, because he's on SmackDown now. I forgot. So yeah.
Spoiler alert!
He's one of the.
Oh, do we find out after this episode? I feel like we do. Go ahead.
My bad.
It's okay.
No, but like, fuck. Now you made me lose my train of thought. Yeah. I know he's not there yet I know he's not the superstar yet. He's not there, but let's be honest. He is one of the most over people. One of the most like people over with the crowd. Though everyone loves him. Yeah. Everyone loves him. If you look at the reviews, a lot of Jim Cornette, a lot of these big podcast people, they wonder why LA Knight hasn't been around or booked well, and everyone sees the talent. So I'm hoping this whole draft, and not just for LA Knight, even for some of the guys that are treated like LA Knight who should be treated more. I just hope this whole brand reshuffle, whatever the fuck they're trying to do here, just works. I hope the booking gets better, and I really hope we see more of a Triple H type of WWE here. But LA Knight's good. I love the guy, and I'm just hoping he does good, man. It's been hard to watch him the past couple months.
LA Knight. Before we take our first break, we see Paul Heyman backstage, and he basically tells the Usos, you're either gonna be on the island of relevancy or the ocean of obscurity. Which we're gonna find out tonight what happens. And I'll go
Bloodline, baby.
The quick drafts, and we'll talk about our thoughts on them when we come back. Rob Van Dam and Michael Hayes come out. I love the picture out there of Rob Van Dam with the thing upside down. That's awesome. He's high all the time. Perfect. So we find out that SmackDown has chosen the Street Profits. Raw has chosen the whole Imperium. So that's great. The Intercontinental title will now be on Raw. SmackDown has the Radar Superstar, one of my favorite superstars, Edge. And SmackDown's kind of Edge's home. And Raw has Matt Riddle. So we're going to come back and discuss all of that. I want you guys to stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Stay safe. Hello, welcome back. And we are closing out our episode of the Friday Night SmackDown recap. I'm Ant, joined by my good friends. Introduce yourselves.
I'm still Christian, your co-host here. Getting ready to wrap up some Monday Night Raw.
SmackDown. Hello.
My bad. Holy shit.
I love it.
I'm thinking a little bit ahead. It's an exciting week. We have Monday Night Raw coming up. And then SmackDown Backlash week. So pay-per-view weeks are always interesting, a little more pay attention to. So I'm excited. And I'm ready.
All right, Caleb. And yes.
And I'm Anthony here, just waiting to finish up my first show with you guys. Really enjoying it.
You're killing it, man. All right, so back on SmackDown, Nakamura, who just got drafted, he is backstage. He gets attacked by Karrion Kross. Cross has been going after Nakamura for weeks, so this isn't anything new. Cross seems to go after the most random people too. It's like, and then I love how he has the card too, like automatically has his cheap debuts. It's like, what's that about? I don't want to get much more into that because I don't know where Karrion Cross ends up. But what do you think about Karrion Cross attacking Shinsuke, I guess? You have really anything to talk about.
I've been a big Cross fan for like a long time. I have his autograph somewhere over here. Back when he was Killer Cross, I've been a big Cross fan for a while. I don't know what he connected so well in NXT. I mean, he's a two-time NXT champion, and he's like the prime example of a guy who went from NXT to the main roster and just didn't connect. Um, and I thought he would because he has like one of the greatest entrances of all time, especially in NXT. It worked so well, but it didn't work in the main roster. Uh, and I thought Scarlett would help that too, and it just didn't. But yeah, he goes after like random people. Like he went after Mysterio, and then he went after Shinsuke, and it's like, is he doing like a legend killer thing? But then like they didn't make that known, so maybe he's not. Um, but I don't know. I've always liked Cross. I thought that his finisher where like he just like hits him over the back of the neck is stupid. But the cross jacket's really good. The guy's a badass. He was in Bloodsport a couple times in GCW, and like he was like clearly a badass about it. But he just doesn't connect in the main roster, and I don't know why. Thank God they got rid of that stupid mask and stuff like that. But USA actually Network just like tweeted something out about that. Like, thank God he's not wearing the mask anymore. But I don't know. I feel bad he didn't connect because he's a really good wrestler. So
Yeah, I like him. I'm a big fan of Cross. How about you, Christian?
No, me too. I'm a big fan. I just feel like his gimmicks just haven't. His storylines haven't been interesting. He started the storyline with Mysterio and just didn't do anything with it. So he's been one of those. He's one of those wrestlers like LA Knight who's we all know if you've watched his previous stuff, what he can do, but he just doesn't connect with the WWE universe. Doesn't click. Or Hunter, Vince, whoever is really behind everything doesn't know what to do with him. It's just a hard situation. I'm a huge fan. Um, I just think he needs to get rid of that bitch and and just be
his wife.
I know that's his wife, but we don't need a. I feel like that role is so outplayed, and I hate to say that, but the role's outplayed. We don't need a manager or slash heel or woman, whatever. That's why, like, I mean, Zelina Vega has been one of those people that have been doing it recently, but I don't know. I love Cross. I just want to see him maybe have some matches against some worthy opponents for once in his career.
Yeah,
Not his career in WWE, I should say.
100%, 100%. All right, so let's get to where everyone came for. We see before the main event, Paul Heyman tells the Usos tonight is the night, and basically Roman wants Solo to stay backstage during the match. So I won't cover the match because we all know what happened, but I will tell you some important parts of it. During the match, as after Kevin nails a top rope fisherman's buster and Swanton Jimmy Uso, Paul Heyman gets a phone call backstage, and he tells Solo Sikoa, "Tonight is your night." We don't know what that means. All we know is tonight is your night. So during the match, Solo walks down, and before anything can happen, Matt Riddle attacks Solo, and we get the end of the match. We see a stunner and a haluva kick to Jimmy Uso, and Kevin and Sammy retain after Solo watches from the crowd. So, did you guys like the match? And my other question is, what was it time for? What was he supposed to do? And I'll throw it to Christian.
I popped. I got so pissed off when Matt Riddle came out. You guys have no clue. I thought this was the night that I was gonna text you and thought, oh my God. I thought Solo was gonna do it. I thought he was gonna go out there and cost his brothers the freaking tag team titles. I just don't think that's gonna happen. I think he's gonna turn on Roman, but good match. This is a match they could have had at Backlash instead of the trios match. I'll save a little bit of what I was just about to say for the predictions, but this is just another match. I'm not gonna lie, this is a match where I believe that you actually have to watch and see what happened because it could have went either way. It could have been a point. I thought it was going to be where you just get that WrestleMania moment with Sammy and KO. They don't hold the tag team titles for too long, but I think they're not going to hold this tag team championships after this rivalry is over. So all titles don't mean anything right now, if I'm being honest. You just it's hard to talk about this match because I don't want to see it again.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It happened so many times at this point.
It's not even so many times. It's just
It happened so many times, but I mean the
the
storyline.
one and the WrestleMania match was. You can't have a big match leading up to that. That's why I don't want it. For example, I don't want to see a Ray versus Dom part 2. You just can't have those type of matches in that story twice, and especially when you've had it on the grandest stage of them all. What's there else to do? Why again? Like, so we're just we're gonna have to wait and see what happens. But I think this is more of a eye opener for us that we will be getting Solo will have something to do with turning, and that really catches my eye personally. So I'm just excited to see what the fuck Solo Sikoa is gonna do already, because I've been talking about this for months. I want him to go on his own.
On his own. I agree.
But I'm gonna turn it to you, Ant.
Go ahead, Ian. I agree. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, I really don't know what Solo's doing. He seems to be very close to Paul, though. That's the one thing I do know is Heyman is very close to Solo Sikoa. Reigns obviously isn't there as much anymore. He seems to be taking the days off, and Solo's always there. He doesn't always go down to the ring, but he's always there. And he was saying something about Paul was saying about taping his thumb up, whatever. And he was talking to him, whatever he was saying. But it seems like Paul Heyman and Solo have this very good relationship. So it seems like they talk a lot. I don't know what Reigns was saying. Was it, your turn to go, just make sure this match gets handled, or was it your turn to, go screw your brothers, whichever one it was. But the one thing that Solo does not get enough credit for, even though he doesn't make faces, his reactions are just so stone-faced. Like, no matter what's going on, he'll just stare at Jay every once in a while, and he doesn't have to say anything, but just his stares are just so telling. Like, Jay will be like, what if we don't win? Like, he said that a couple weeks ago, and Solo just stared at Jay like, do you really just say that? Like, he's really good at that. So I don't know what Solo's really thinking, really, but I know a couple weeks ago, the rumor was they didn't want Solo to lose until he faced Reigns, and then he ends up losing on Raw. So that went out the window. But I think Solo can easily go to bigger and better things. But I don't really know where he's gonna go. Now that they're together and everything like that. So I don't know where he's gonna go. But that call was weird. I thought he was gonna stay in the back the whole time, and then Riddle comes and interrupts, and I don't know. I like Riddle, but I'm not a big fan of this whole trios thing. I'm not a big fan of 6-man tag matches, to be honest. So
Yeah.
it's here comes Riddle. So
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm not really super pumped for that. I am a Riddle fan, but it's just sort of just brought together. But listen, I mean, a decent SmackDown. We got the first round of the draft. Monday Night Raw, more action happens. I'm excited for that. We got Backlash this Saturday. A lot coming our way. And I want to thank you for coming on the show. You are a killer. He is going to be joining us consistently. He is a beast. And all you guys are going to enjoy getting to know Ant. Christian, obviously, thank you for coming back again. And I want you guys to be safe. And what do I always say? What's my little phrase?
Stay uncensored.
Stay uncensored. I don't know where the fuck I am, guys. Stay unsafe and stay uncensored. And we will see you with our Monday Night Raw recap. Bye, y'all.
thanks for having me, guys.
Of course, man.